I'm interested in knowing more about your beta program. I'll tell you off the top, I've never been a mom, but I've worked with moms for 40 years. So I just wonder if I would be, you know, a candidate for your beta class. Could you tell me more about it, please?
So for my beta class, what I was looking for is for moms who feel stressed out, who feel like they don't know what they want to do anymore, don't know kind of where they're at anymore. Now, the one thing I noticed was when you're in the infant stage of having kids when they're really young and you're in the survival mode, it's hard to think about some of these things. But somewhere along the line from that survival mode, there's a little bit of a shift. And in that shift, we start to question all of a sudden, at least for me, and as I've talked to other moms, that shift happens and you start to question, what do I like again? What am I interested in? And you start to feel a little bit off centered and not sure what to do about it. But then you just kind of let the busy schedule of the kids' activities and what the kids are doing and everything, and you let that just keep running. But you keep having this question in your mind. And so what check-in is about is trying to answer that question, to actually address it instead of just ignoring it. Because when we ignore it, we just keep having this sense of like there's something missing. I don't know what it is. And then I end up just, if I have, you start to get these pockets of free time as the kids start to play with themselves or start to do their own things. And you get little pockets, but you get this little pocket and you're all of a sudden you're like, what do I do with my time? Well, then I end up just doing filler stuff, playing on my phone, going down Facebook, playing games, watching TV, and it passes the time, but I don't feel fulfilled. And so together, I want to bring moms together to answer that question and to fill that time with stuff that actually lights you up and to learn how to use those small pockets, because we don't have to have this big, long, I need the whole day to figure this out, but we need to start addressing those questions together. And you can say that, okay, yes, I can go pick up my book and go get a self-help book. I can go do all this stuff, but are you really going to do it? Are you really going to sit out and focus and try to talk this out? Because what I found along my journey was when I started talking with other moms, other entrepreneurs, or other people in general, having those conversations, it was what really led me to figuring this out and taking that time, because I made that commitment to go to this class or this group. And I set that aside of time, because if I'm going to say I'm going to do it by myself, I'm never going to set that time aside. And so check-in is that time for moms to come together and to start answering those questions so that they can figure out how they want to use those pockets of time. And in check-in, when we get to the second C, I want to actually match moms together so they have their own little small group that they can take after my course and have that consistent accountability and friendship that we're missing in motherhood, of people and wanting to do more and figure out what that answer is without just letting life pass us by and not being present with our kids in the moment. And so that's what check-in is all about. You're muted, Willa. You're muted.
I like to mute myself in case I have any echoes. Do you have any echo happening?
No, I do not.
No. Okay, good, because I was on speakers. Okay, this sounds good. How about like over the period of 6 weeks, what are some of the techniques that you use, like in order to capture these little pockets of time? Like what would you be teaching me?
So we would go through each of the letters. So the C would be for connection, or sorry, for curiosity. The first C is curiosity. And we'll be learning how to be curious again, how to get inspiration from our kids, how to see, to actually intentionally look for things that interest us, because we don't always do that. And so we're going to start just by being curious. And then we're going to start going a little bit heavier with the H, where we look at honesty and looking at how we're honest to ourselves and trying to actually define what are our top 3 values. Because we can say, oh, I value honesty and I value integrity and I value all this and blah, blah, blah. But until you actually get down to your core and say, am I living by these values? And then you want to make sure the people around you that you are connecting with have similarities in that, or at least that you're acknowledging, even if they're different, that that'll make you think differently because you're like, I'm living by my values, whether they are not, but it just has you interact with people differently. So we're going to define our values in honesty and be honest with ourselves. When we get to E, it's funny because I was just talking about expectations. I believe you were there, Willa. And we want to redefine expectations because the word sounds so daunting. And someone, actually, a friend had just said, get rid of the word expectations from your check-in. You want something like aspirations or something. But what I want to do is I want to redefine expectations so we actually acknowledge them, that we put them out there and actually don't let our subconscious make those expectations. So we're going to talk about how we do that, how we have conversations with what we're thinking is something to happen, and have that conversation with our child or another person to what that expectation is. So we're on the same page. We're painting it done. What does it look like done to us so that we can have that middle ground, or realize, as my daughter is slapping the table as she's cleaning the kitchen table, I'm like slapping. I'm like, that's not how you clean a table. But if I don't go through that with her, then she's not going to know. If I don't set those expectations up, that's not going to happen. So as much as I would love to get rid of expectations, I don't think it's realistic. We need to learn how to work with them and to let go of some of them, but to still, we need to define them so we know what we're going after. Then when we get to the second C, that would be connection, where we would then start to learn how to connect with the other moms in this section. And that's when you get your own circle of grace in that fourth session. As we've got to know each other, we got time to know ourselves. And now it's time to start connecting with other moms and having those conversations and learning how to build that group. So then when we get to the K is actually for keep listening. And we're going to work on our listening skills as we listen to each other and not work on trying to solve or fix for other people, but we're going to be working towards understanding, acknowledging, and helping them come to terms with what they need to do next by witnessing them and working on that with keep listening. Then when we get to the I and N part, we're going to be looking at intentions. What are our intentions for what we're doing? And how do we want to set up our intentions for this circle of moving forward? Because once the 6-week course is on, it's going to be on you to set those intentions for how you want that group to run. So I was going to supply you with ways to do it, but now it's your time to set those intentions for it. And the last one is N, for now, because you're going to be making that plan now. When are you going to do your circles? Are you going to do them weekly? Are you going to do them monthly? How are you going to set that up? Schedule it. And then the second half of now is being present, that we're learning how to be in the now more than anything. That the more we're in the now, the more we're scheduling our time, the more that we're going to be with our kids, we're going to be doing what we want to do, the more that we're looking at what we're enjoyment. And that's how we're going to get through check-in. And by the end of the 6 weeks, you will have more connection to yourself, to your family around you, as well as a new group of women who will be your growth ship to help you move forward in this journey of yours as you want to keep identifying the things that light you up and how you move forward. Because ultimately, our ultimate goal for our journey, for our life, is to enjoy every moment of our day. Now, I know it's not always possible, but that is the ultimate goal. So how do we accomplish that? Well, we accomplish that through true connection and getting to be yourself. So the more you're being vulnerable, the more you're being yourself, then you're going to connect to the people around you in complete honesty. And that's really where it comes down to.
Okay, so is it correct also when you get into the now, you've already kind of prepped us, through the honesty as well as the curiosity. Curiosity, you want to be in the now. Like if you're
Right,
practicing curiosity,
right,
you're in the now. So
right.
you've already got us. Oh, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
You've already got us, Michelle, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've already got us in the now and then reinforcing it.
We're
Oh,
sealing
yeah.
the deal by saying that we need to plan it out in the now as well. So like
Yes.
now that you've got
Yes.
your circle, you need to decide, how do you want to run it now that the 6 weeks is over? Like you
Yes.
need to
And
decide, are you doing it weekly? Are you doing monthly?
mhm.
If you decide you don't want to do it, that's your choice, but you need to make a decision at the end of the 6 weeks. What does your now look like?
Beautiful. And so then are you offering another program after this?
What I'm
Like
going to
the
offer
long
is at this point,
term?
yeah, well, at this point, what I'm going to offer for the Bay is I'm going to have a Slack group where I'm going to put alumni into the Slack group, keep up with like things to help their group flourish, and eventually I want to turn that into a membership so that
Gorgeous.
they go through the boot camp, as I call it, like the 6 week course is the boot camp, and then it will turn into a membership as I grow it. That they can get more handouts and supplies, and I mean, I and so then that will become, if they want to keep that going, if they want to just take their group and go, they'll be their choice, but eventually it'll be a Slack membership for them.
Okay, so for more information then, like I haven't seen a master class. Have you done a master class?
I did one in the past, but that's kind of what I was doing this week. Was I was using YouTube lives, and I was using the last night was the workshop for moms, so I was like another master class. And then I was doing this women's circle today to kind of give a variety of the different things that I would be offering throughout this. Um, so that's what I was
Okay.
doing this week.
Oh, okay.
And so
Um,
I had put the free course out with the landing page. And so when they got, so this is what you would, wait, okay.
you see, I'm just, yeah, like in the, I
I'll
just,
share my screen right now so you can see what I'm talking about.
okay, great. Would you? That would be great.
So when you filled out my landing page, you got emailed this course right here
Right.
on the page.
I
And so at
remember
the
seeing.
top, I had put all the activities for today, for this week. So we had 3 YouTube lives, we had the workshop for moms last night, and then we had today. And so those were all on here for live activities. But then down here is the actual course where I go through each of these letters. So there's a 3 to 5 minute video for each letter. And then there's at the end of each video is an activity
Oh,
for
it's
them to
all
do.
there. Okay.
And so here's an activity for each of them to do at the end of each video to get, and then, so even here's your value list down here. It should be coming in. So here's a list of values, help you with lesson 3 to pick out your values.
Yes, I remember seeing that.
So this
Okay,
is,
so
so this is what, so I was giving
can
them the freebie to see if this is something, and then what they're paying for then is for us to do it together and to then get their circle so that we can do each of these letters more in depth and doing that time together.
okay, so I know why I'm confused. Like I missed, like when did you do the workshop for mom?
Last night, that was before our graduation. That's
Well,
what
see,
we,
I missed it. I've got Michelle. I was wondering why. Like I've got Michelle down for 2 hours. What time was it?
it was the one Ren when we did it Pacific time. We did it 4 to 6.
Oh, see, I've got down 6. And I was actually going to be asking Ren about missing the graduation, and and then I thought, why have I got Michelle down tuned in at 6:30 and you were there? I wrote down 6, Michelle, 2 hours. I'm
Oh
sorry I missed
no,
the
that's
workshop.
okay. That's okay.
Okay, so I would have been a lot clearer.
I'm trying to get the replay up on. I'll send you the link if I get the replay up in the workshop for moms Facebook group. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Um,
Oh,
but
well,
so
that would
last
be great if you sent
so
me the
so
replay.
you could see what workshop for mom was about. So basically, what we're doing is we're doing 2 hours every Thursday. So we rotate between night and morning, and so we have 3 speakers per 2 hours. So everyone gets a half an hour, 25 minute slot, and then you can do 5 minutes Q&A, whatever you want between speakers. And the last half an hour, depending on the group or what, we might just do Q&A. We might do breakout rooms, depending on the trying to see how many moms come to each session. But that last half an hour is basically left for breakout rooms or Q&A or questioning. Obviously, no one was there last night, so we just kind of use it to debrief. And then that's when we came up with the idea of the book during that period. So that's the setup. That's the workshop for moms format. And so we're using Summit format for that. And so we're basically just having all of us sign up for what dates you want and what times, and then kind of theming them out and advertising it through that. And so so I did my 25-minute talk last night on connection.
I mean, this is dynamite stuff. This is dynamite stuff, and I'm just wondering, it it not only applies to moms like that are moms now, but correct me if I'm wrong. Are you targeting the empty nester at all?
I
Because this
am
is marvelous for the empty
it
nester, is
is,
what's
and
popping into my head.
I'm just not yet because I'm not there yet. I'm in the thick of
Okay.
things. So just because they say go for your lowest hanging fruit. And so for me right now, I'm just going, my ideal is the elementary age mom where we're just starting to have those questions. just because that's where I'm at.
Okay, I just meant, dear, for your beta group, as far as membership in your beta group, if you inquired as far as possible empty nesters that we in the sisterhood, might know of. Not necessarily us, but you know what I mean. Somebody else that might be wanting to be in your beta group, because this is like I'm thinking of empty nesters. I'm thinking of, actually, this is dynamite for people that are transitioning careers, Michelle.
Yeah, no, and
Like
I'm
for career, so as far as getting clients like into your beta group, it might be
I'm pretty open right now, but I was just everything is said niche down, niche do this. So my ideal would just be the mom with elementary age kids. That's just my ideal. I'm not saying that I'm
okay.
closed to
I
other.
I'm just
Yeah,
I'm just thinking of getting you, more like into
yeah.
your beta group. When did you want to start your
I
beta
want to
group,
start
dear?
on Wednesday. That's why I was doing this whole week to prep and start Wednesday. And so I have my neighbors said she was going to sign up. She hasn't yet. And I also did a live event on Saturday last week in person at a festival. I got a table and I raffled off a free spot in the class. I haven't heard from the winner yet. But people had to put their tickets in the ones they wanted. So people purposely chose to put it in mine. I had about seven
Okay.
people that I've been trying to contact from that as
Okay,
well.
and okay, and how
But
about like, you're willing to start? I mean, even if you just had a couple of them, right?
yeah, I
How
wanted
many was
three was my minimum because I wanted a group. So three was the
okay?
minimum
And
number I
so, how many
wanted.
would you? What's your vision as far as how many would
Well,
you like? Like, how
somewhere
many
between
could you
three to
handle?
30.
10 or
Somewhere from 3 to 30 would be my.
oh, 30? Okay, okay, okay. So, I'm just suggesting these other ideas for you, because this is dynamite stuff, even for like high school kids that are trying to figure
Well,
out.
and that's exactly my son said he wants his own circle, and so like I can
Well,
see it.
really, really, like, it is all. I mean, this is. Did you devise this whole word, the acronym, and
Yes,
all of this?
yes, yes.
This is brilliant.
I was in a purpose-driven mom course, and then she was like, her acronym is SOAR, so she's like, come up with an acronym, and I start with check, and she's, what about check in? And so she helped me, and then I had the word first, and then I start putting the pieces together.
And you put
And
the yeah,
when I went to France, I was sitting there going, I should record videos for these letters. And then I was sitting there the first day, and then another travel agent came over and asked me about it. And he's like, his wife was trying to be a coach as well. And so he's like, let's go do it. And he was my videographer the rest of the week, just getting through, right, doing the videos that are in this course. And so, yeah, I came up with when my friend was telling me to change the E to expiration and expectation seems too strong, I'm like, no, it has to be because
yeah,
we need right
yeah,
before we get to the connection we need to set those expectations of what we want
yeah,
and we don't necessarily need to be so attached but we need to identify
yeah.
them. We
Because
can't leave them out as much as I want to. You can't.
yeah. Well, exactly. And I love, like, the values in there, like that would be like so good at, not even high school. You could even do it with middle schoolers. Like, how old is your son, did you say?
He's 11.
Yeah, like middle schoolers, like, everybody hits you with, what do you want to do when you grow up? My answer was simple: I don't want to grow up. That would
I
shut
love
them
it.
up.
Peter Pan.
I don't know I still don't know what I want to do because I don't want to grow up. That's, don't ask me that question. But, as far as you know, the the values checklist and the honesty and the, living in the moment, I'm impressed.
Thank you. And I think
Yeah.
that's kind of where I was at, like um as I was doing this, I was also, as a mom, like worried, am I spending too much time on this? Am I doing this? And then when my son sent that, you were there when I read the letter yesterday, right? Willa,
Sorry, what?
were you there when I read the letter for my
No, I
son?
wasn't there yesterday. Remember, I missed it.
No, at
Oh, in
graduation.
our class.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
yes.
When I read the
That
letter.
was that was
So then I
precious.
was
Yeah.
like, I come to the idea that the more we go for what we are passionate about, then the more it seeps on to the people around us, and so we shouldn't be hiding ourselves anymore. And so, I mean,
Absolutely.
he had the choice tonight to go help his sister sell popcorn because it was last weekend, or to come watch me do my taekwondo because we were. I need one more belt before I can test for black belt, and he's ready to test for. He's going to be shortly to test for black belt, so we are trying to do it together. So he chose to come support me, and so I'm like, okay, well now I have to go test.
Yeah.
But just that
Yeah.
connection, I think that's what it's all about. And so
Yeah.
knowing that I've
Oh
established
yeah.
that, I know I can help other moms do that as well. And I feel like if we're not
Uh-huh.
enjoying that right now, I'm like looking at he's out the door in 6 years. I mean, in some way or shape, like I don't have that much time with him really left. And if I can't enjoy that in the now, then I'm going to be the empty nester, just like what the hell am I going to do with myself? And so that's why I've almost
Yeah.
geared towards
Yeah.
the elementary mom because we're in that stage where we have that moment now to think about because we have those pockets of time and trying to get that before they're regretting being empty nesters and not sure what to do with themselves and having stronger connections
What
with
do
their kids.
you okay, what do you refer to as an elementary mom, dear? What?
Um, moms that just have moms that have kids somewhere K to 6. I mean, somewhere in that range. But I mean,
Okay.
they might still have a baby, but
Okay.
they you're past your first kid where it's like everything, and it's like, and you're by your third kid, you're like, eh. So like somewhere in that range, just
Right.
that they have that space for thought. Because when you're in survival mode, in that beginning, you don't always have that, or you're like always worried about that first kid or
Exactly.
something. And now you're like, so
Right.
it's that in between mom area that I
Right.
just feel that I'm key to talk to right now, just because that's where I'm at and where I
Right.
started.
Right.
Not that I'm not open to helping beginning moms or later, or even expanding to women in general, but just they say, pick your niche to start.
Yeah.